Hello, welcome to this review of U.S. and world history. Um, Me and Ruben, introduce yourself.
Hello.
Hello. Um, so we're gonna read about the last 500 years of U.S. and world history in a nutshell. Um, okay. Okay, go ahead. Go ahead and start us off, Ruben, with our first point.
The first point would be the first Native Americans came from Asia across Bering Strait into North America. Europeans, New World, late 1400s to 1600s.
Right. The Bering Strait, yeah. So the Bering Strait is the strait, which is like a part that connects. It's part of the sea or the ocean that connects Asia to to North America. Um, so the first Native Americans came on to the North American continent through this strait. Um, so in the 1400s, um, Europeans started traveling to Asia. Um, so this was even before they found the New World. They found their way around the tip of Africa or South Africa in order to try to reach Asia. Um, Many European nations set out to establish colonies abroad, various locations. Explorers were searching for resources of value and also for the power of conquest.
In the 1492, from Spain, Christopher Columbus crossed the Atlantic Ocean.
So, 1500s through the 1600s, Spain, France, England, and the Netherlands sought expansion and settlement, especially in the New World.
In the New World, the first permanent English settlement was established in Jamestown, Virginia in 1607.
In 1620, pilgrims continued to come to the New World. They sailed abroad the Mayflower ship and established a second English colony in Massachusetts.
In 1650, the European colonial settlements consisted of Spanish, with the southernmost colony near St. Augustine.
Mhm. The Spanish colony near St. Augustine, which is on the southern coast, southeastern coast uh, of the United States or the American continent. English had several colonies around Jamestown and also more north near New Haven, Plymouth, and Boston.
French colonies were far north of Boston and more westward near Montreal and Quebec.
Quebec. So near like Canada. It's Montreal. Okay, and then Dutch colonies were near New Amsterdam, somewhat near the English.
Swedish colonies were about midway up the eastern coast between the English colonies and near the Dutch.
In 1675, colonists began importing slaves from Africa to work on the plantation system in the southern colonies.
In the 1700s, colonies grew rapidly.
1754 to 1764 was the French and Indian War, where England acquired many of France's American colonies.
In 1775, due to new British taxes and policies, colonies fought for independence. Declaration, the Continental Congress assigned George Washington to lead the Continental Army.
Um, okay, so colonies wanted independence, and then so the Continental Congress had George Washington, and the Declaration of Independence was written, published on July 7, 1776, which is right. And then the 13 colonies formed around 1776, and they were independent of England.
The American Revolution was fought against British forces until the surrender of the British at Yorktown in 1781.
1783, U.S. officially became independent from British rule with a treaty to end the war and to recognize American independence.
The first national government formed through the Articles of Confederation, where states were under strong local control. When a more centralized government was sought and established, the Constitution was created.
Okay, so following the Articles of Confederation and the Constitution, which was ratified in 1788, the first 10 amendments to the Constitution, the Bill of Rights, were written to de emphasize an overly powerful central government and to promise individuals freedoms and rights of speech, assembly, etc.
The First Amendment to Constitution: Congress shall make no law bridging the right of people peacefully to assemble and to petition government for a redress of grievances. This was to prevent tyrannical government.
Okay, yeah, so that's actually the First Amendment, which says that they shouldn't abridge people's rights to assemble and to petition government for a redress of grievances. The Southern economy was based on slavery and labor and agriculture, and in the South, crops were primarily cotton farms, and farmers were dependent greatly on slaves for work. And the Northern economy was based on paid labor, industry, commerce, um, and agriculture to lesser degree. However, by the 1800s, slavery was abolished in the North.
The North and South worked to maintain balance of power. When new states were added, they were done so in pairs, one slavery and one free. In mid 1800s, vast western territories were to decide themselves whether to allow slavery or not. War in Kansas at 1855 reflected this struggle, and to the later war between North and South.
So that's was foreshadowing the Civil War between the North and South, which was to come later on. The Kansas War.